That is the end of Skywalker. Now we will crush this rebellion.
You know what's pretty crazy? Just sheerly how much we associate memories and feelings, emotions with video games and our video game consoles. I did not even entirely realize how big of a deal this was until just today. I watched 2 different videos, and I will hopefully remember to put the link to them in the description below. The first one was a video from BBK Dragoon, who posted a Halo Master Chief Collection video talking about how every Halo game has its own era, and despite how much we want to translate that quote-unquote era over to a new Halo game, we simply can't, because what I sum it up to is we're frankly different people by the time a new game in a series comes out. And the second video was a video from Austin Evans comparing the PS4 to Xbox One to Wii U in part 5 of a big series he's doing. And in the description of that video, or in the comment section, I was writing a comment about how he mentioned that the Wii U costs just as much as the PS4 and Xbox One, and I was pointing out that I just paid like $250 to $300 at most for my full 32 gig Wii U, which is half of what I paid for my Xbox One, much less than I paid for my PS4, and less than I paid for, and this is what got me, my first Xbox 360 and my first PS3. And then it kind of hit me that I now have gone through multiple of these. I'm on my third Xbox 360. Our first one died in a flood in 2009, which put 6 feet of water in our basement at my parents' house. The second one, which was the Xbox 360 Elite, still the fat version, is still at my parents'. My dad and I actually just played Gears of War 3 on it the other day. And then I bought myself an Xbox 360 Slim refurbished for about $99 from Best Buy on a really good sale, so I could have one in my bedroom when I was still living with them for recording and playing Halo without having to play on their big TV. PS3, I still technically have the first one I bought. It was a PS3 Slim. It has served me quite well, but I also have a dead and in need of reflowing fat PS3 and another second generation fat PS3 used as a media center in my bedroom at my current apartment. That seems really weird. Once I started typing that, I realized how many memories and how much nostalgia I assigned to these consoles, because it just felt weird to say my first, because I think back to my first experience with the PS3. My best friend, he goes by God of Dementia on PS4. We've played Destiny together a lot in these videos that I've posted on this channel and things like that. He got a PS3 for his birthday, and I remember this pretty clearly. It was in the basement of a church that is near where he used to live and where my parents lived that I just moved away from. He went to a local church there, and they always had family events there because his family was kind of involved in the church, and so his birthday party was in the basement there. And I remember him opening up his original fat PS3, and both of us were just extremely excited because we didn't have a next-gen console yet, and we got to play a ton of cool stuff. And this was back, when the focus was still heavily on good single-player games, and so he had like Heavenly Sword and things like that, where it was just cool games that I never played or got to play other than with him, and it just seemed like such a unique experience. And at the time, again, this was freshman year of high school, 8th grade-ish time period, it just meant a lot to me. And then I got my first Xbox 360, which he didn't have just yet. I got that for that Christmas right after it came out with a copy of Halo 3, and pretty much maybe even the next day after Christmas, he and I played through Halo 3 together, and we played through about half of it. And I remember that I had this little game cart that my original first Xbox, just the plain Xbox by itself, set on, that just had a little dust cover flap, a platform for the console, and then a drawer which I kept some games and controllers in, and it was on wheels. Well, we put the Xbox 360 on it, and everything in the instruction manual said to put it, or described it as standing it up on its side, so we did that. But then we got halfway through the campaign of Halo 3, and we couldn't continue because the disc had etched a ring all the way around the disc, rubbing up against the disc tray, because it was on its side and it was an unstable platform because it was a wheel cart made of plastic with no support directly under the Xbox. It apparently wobbled around a bit, and my dad had to go back up to GameStop and swap out the copy, and apparently they just let him do it because that was that was an issue, and it was our first time dealing with that. And they just explained that we need to keep it on its side laying flat instead of standing up. But these are very vivid and personal memories I have assigned to something seemingly as arbitrary as game consoles. And for me personally, this has always been a weird point because I have a friend like my friend Blizzard Ball who used to do a lot of system jailbreaking and would always, he's who I go to for advice on that stuff. And it's just, he's someone who probably has gone through a million different Xboxes and PlayStations and stuff like that in his life as he's dealt with all of those broken ones. Well, I grew up not poor, but I never had, a ton of money. I couldn't buy a whole lot of that stuff, and I definitely couldn't through college. And so my one console was all I had, and that was very, very important to me to keep in tip-top shape and to never, screw up. And so I always have very strong memories associated with the consoles, and I was extremely upset and just completely torn up when the first one did die in that flood, and I, for whatever reason, felt the need to take it apart and just see the inside, and was very, very upset. And my parents really didn't understand why, because it wasn't the console. They promised to buy me a new one, and in fact we ended up getting a better one because we went from the normal 20 to 60 gig white Xbox 360 to the full 120 gig black Elite one, which was a much better console, but we couldn't afford it. They couldn't afford it when they bought me the first one, nor was it even out, I don't think. But it wasn't the console itself that actually mattered that much. It was save games, the memories I had with it. The physical console was just kind of benign. It didn't matter. And the same thing applies to games and stuff like that too. I mean, I just described how I felt, and my friend and I got a dimension. I played a lot of Call of Duty 4 together on that PlayStation 3, and then we played a ton. We played literally 4 years worth of Halo 3 together on our various Xbox 360s, and he had one that his little brother had stepped on, and we had what we called the green screen of life, to where it screwed up the disc reader a little bit, and so it wouldn't always read the Halo 3 disc, but when it did, instead of loading the initial Microsoft Bungie logo or whatever, it just loaded a green screen. So that's how we knew the game worked, so we called it the green screen of life. And then at one point we tried passing it around and playing Halo 3 multiplayer with the Guitar Hero controller. There's all those memories associated with just games and a game console. Just seems kind of crazy, but that's what I guess us being a royal us as quote-unquote gamers do, is that it becomes a serious point in our life, something we care a lot about, and thus something we associate memories with a lot. It's pretty crazy. Now, going back to BBK Dragoon's video where he was talking about the air thing, that totally fits in with what I was just talking about with Halo 3, is I seriously, and will probably always feel that way, consider Halo 3 to be the best Halo 3 of all time. I fully recognize that that is my opinion, and so I will always state in my opinion with that. But it's because of the memories I have associated with it. Not only do I feel it was a very polished, well-rounded, and downright enjoyable multiplayer experience, which I can now recreate in Master Chief Collection on the Xbox One, but I had so many memories associated with it for my entire high school career, which is an extremely important development point in someone's life, especially my life. That was one of the biggest growing development points mentally, emotionally, and physically for me in my entire life. That was a big freaking deal. I played Halo 3 every day. As soon as I finished homework, I skipped homework. I did everything I could to make more time to go play Halo 3 with friends online. Custom games, Jenga, Ducky Mobile, Duck Hunt, Infection, just custom lobbies with our more competitive friends, trying to be, as MLG Elite Pro as possible. I competed in semi-professional tournaments after a while. General matchmaking. Like I said before, going over to God of Dementia's house and playing split screen. I've made videos with him from back then, playing with his little brother, just everything possible. And it's because of the memories I have associated with it. Others feel the exact same way about Halo 2. Some swear up and down Halo 2 was the best Halo game of all time, and none would ever beat it, and they don't understand why Halo 2 Anniversary or the, Master Chief Collection Halo 2 Classic can't do that for people. It's because you're no longer in that era. I'm no longer the person I was in high school. I no longer have that circle of friends. Frankly, I no longer even have that big of a circle of friends in general, because I'm a bit more of a recluse. And I don't have that big of a circle of friends that just sit around on custom games in Halo 3 all day because we're not in high school anymore. We grew up. We have jobs. We have careers. We have families. We have real life responsibilities beyond what to a lot of them was sitting at home playing Halo and smoking weed 24/7. And for me, it was basically just playing Halo 24/7 or Minecraft and then making YouTube videos. And sometimes it's sad. Sometimes it's sad to think about because you can't replace that. And I was actually talking with BBK Dragoon about this in a PlayStation party earlier because we were talking about like video crews and video crews like Machinima Respawn, the Respawn crew when they did their little reunion with Hutch, CNNers, APL Fissure, Sark, and G4 TV, things like that. We look to bring those back or remaster them because we don't have them anymore. But that's only a problem when we don't have replacements for it. G4 TV was replaced by Machinima Respawn after a while. And now that we don't have a replacement for that crew, despite the fact that that kind of production is 50 times easier and anybody could set that up if they had the right personalities, we don't have a replacement for that kind of thing. So we, out of nostalgia, we seek to simply go back to it because we don't have a replacement for it. We're also resistant to change, and therefore we're resistant to replacing it because that would mean trying something new. And the same thing goes with games. We don't want our favorite games to change or evolve or grow, even though that's exactly what we are doing as people. We just want to have the same game we had. I can't tell you how many times I've heard, just remaster Call of Duty 4 with better graphics and that's all you need. Just remaster Halo 3 with better graphics, that's all you need. Just remaster Halo 2 with better graphics, that's all you need. They did that with the Halo side of things. You don't see now granted, obviously factors went into Master Chief Collection launching pretty failingly. Now that it's working, we're not all sitting on Halo 3 playing custom games and spending our lives on it because we're different people. And the same thing would happen with Call of Duty 4 or Modern Warfare 2 or whatever Call of Duty people want to remaster. 4 was my favorite. It just doesn't work that way. And it's just really weird to think about. This went on way longer than I expected. I just wanted to kind of ramble on a bit about a very hard to think about conversation of nostalgia and eras past, and just wanted to share it with you in a commentary. Got some really crazy awesome announcements coming up very soon. A lot of crazy awesome stuff happening. Thanks so much for watching. My name's been Adam Vox. This video was recorded on the Electro Voice RE20 microphone. I'm doing a big microphone roundup review over on my tech channel at youtube.com/Vox. And I mentioned on there that I'm going to have some videos testing out these mics as well. This is one of those videos where my commentary is done on this very sexy $500 microphone. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Let me know what you think about all this too in the comment section down below if you have any similar thoughts or if you think I'm just totally off the wall.